You can give as many Fox News facts as you want, but you cannot argue with a picture of the three of them together. No, you cannot. Martin Luther King Jr. was a liberal independent. He was liberal, but he would never support the Democratic Party, nor would he support the Republican Party. Both parties are not of his ideals. His ideals were anti-war, his ideals were anti-hate, his ideals were anti-greed. These were the three main things that Martin Luther King Jr. was against. If you knew what he stood for, you would understand that. He would never support a party that supports tax credits, tax cuts for the rich. He would never support a party that has gun tutors. Yeah, I support the Republican Party because I want my guns. He would never support that. He wouldn't support abortion rights either. He wouldn't support gay marriage. You mean that he would say hateful things about gay people? No!
That homophobic attitudes and policies were unjust and unworthy of a free society and must be opposed by all Americans who believe in democracy. I believe that racist, anti-Semitic, sexist, and homophobic attitudes all spring from the fears and insecurities of people who feel inadequate. Sometimes these fears are expressed as hatred, repressive legislation, and even violence. It's been said that violence comes from hatred. Hatred comes from fear. Fear comes from ignorance. Therefore, educational outreach is essential for human rights groups who want to eradicate bigotry. In my travels, I still get comments from people who say I shouldn't be talking about the rights of lesbian and gay people, and I should stick to the issue of racial justice. Well, that's basically the same thing they told my husband, Martin Luther King Jr., when he began to speak out against the Vietnam War. He responded to the charge by saying, "I have fought too long and hard against segregated public accommodations to end up segregating my moral concerns. Justice is indivisible." Like Martin Luther King Jr., I also feel that justice is indivisible, and that it is just plain wrong to allow discrimination against any minority. The civil rights movement that I believe in thrives on unity and inclusion, not division and exclusion. Like my husband, I believe that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. He once said that we are all tied together in a single garment of destiny, an inescapable network of mutuality. I can never be what I ought to be until you are allowed to be what you ought to be. And I believe with Martin that conscience demands that freedom-loving people shall have a policy of zero tolerance for persecution and repression of anyone or any group of people. I accept this award with a spirit of thanksgiving for my gay and lesbian brothers and sisters who stood up for me and for my freedom in Montgomery, in Selma, in Albany, Georgia, and St. Augustine, Florida, and many other campaigns of the civil rights movement. I accept this award with gratitude to you for recognizing me, but also with a deep appreciation for your commitment to create a society where all citizens can live together in justice, equality, and
this is the guy that believed in judging people by their character, judging human beings by their character. And that means gay people too, judging gay people by their character. So yes, he would support gay rights. He was against the Vietnam War. He would never support, if he was alive today, he would never support the Iraq War, he wouldn't support the Afghanistan War, and he certainly would not support a war in Libya. This is a guy that said that if a nation spends more on, this is a quote, a nation that spends more on military defense than on social uplifting is a nation moving to spiritual death. That is Martin Luther King Jr.'s own words. You can say that his relatives were Republicans, but it doesn't matter. He said those words. Those are not the words of a conservative. Those are the words of a liberal. Conservatives do not say that. Oh, Vietnam was a liberal war. There is no such thing. War is war. War creates death whether it's coming from a Democrat or a Republican. It doesn't matter. He hated war. I don't know about you, but I don't want to study war no more. That was his words. He would never support either party. This is a guy, and he would never support the idea of small government. He wanted the government to get rid of segregation. That is against conservatism by saying conservatives support states' rights. You know, I hate when these Republicans try to claim Martin Luther King Jr. You want to claim black leaders? Go. I love James Brown. James Brown's music is amazing. He was one of the best soul artists ever. But according to CNN, he supported Richard Nixon. They showed an interview where he said he endorsed Richard Nixon for president. I don't know, once or twice. But you want to have a black conservative go from that period of time that supported Republicans, go with James Brown. I hate to say it, James Brown, but yeah, go with him. Don't go. Martin Luther King Jr. was with us. Now, what are you going to say next? Rosa Parks? You're going to say you're going to grab a woman that worked with John Conyers? That's another thing that proves that Martin Luther King Jr. Was a liberal. This is a guy that was friends with a Democratic congressman before he became a Democratic congressman. Congressman John Lewis of Georgia was Martin Luther King Jr.'s friend. He was there when Martin Luther King Jr. died at a workers' rights rally. You're telling me that a conservative would support a workers' rights rally? No, I don't think so. Oh, you just said that Martin Luther King Jr. was a socialist? Yeah. Social uplifting he believed in. Yes. If you mean that socialist as in the socialism coming from Scandinavia, like democratic socialism or whatever Bernie Sanders defines as socialism, yes. That kind of socialism, not corporate socialism, not the socialism that the Nazis believed in. But that's corporatism, really. That's what Mussolini believed in. That is fascism. That is a government that supports, that is biased to corporations. That is what fascism is. It is not. That is their definition of socialism. There's a difference. Corporatism, corporate socialism, corporate owning government.